bad matchup to start things off for Briarthorn. His deck just really doesn't do much against Druid. He's got a bunch of dead cards with the Acidic Swampoos and Cobalt Sticky Fingers. Not dead. Acidic Swampoos can actually be reasonable for pressure. But considering like the cards that he replaces are, you know, just straight up better against Malgos, we're talking about raw pressure. It's rough. He also has more removal packed in there. You know, he runs Penance and the Breath of the Infinite, which again, not very useful against Malgos Druid in particular, because they're not really playing minions that you want to use that mana to remove. So no matter which way you slice it, an incredibly poor matchup. And looking at that hand from Rami, there's not a chance.
Yeah. Briarthorn, I mean, he has to deal with the ramp. He has to find ways to handle any kind of aggression once Rami gets minions out with guard animals. But he can actually maybe find a way to answer a little bit of it with Wave of Apathy. So beyond that, I think it's pretty open-ended. I think I probably would consider throwing away... Oh, he keeps the Acidic Swamp. All right.
2-mana play.
Yeah. Sure, okay. I was considering throwing away everything just to make sure that we have something to do, but I guess it makes sense here.
Something to do.
True.
Time waits for no one. Job done.
I guess Adorable Infestation is what's on Rami's mind here, just to have some semblance of being able to generate tempo. Maybe it's a disruption play if your opponent's going for a Cabal Acolyte play.
Well,
use it
not
or
much
lose
to
it.
do. Yep.
Yeah, Overgrowth here just really giving Rami a ton of power, and now Briarthorn is in a tough spot. He's next turn his opponent's going to double his mana crystals.
At least he's got a 5/5.
Right. So from here, Rami can push out the garden animals. Knows about the threat of the Cabal Acolyte, but try to cash in on it while you can. And he finds a Twilight Runner.
You could keep the Twilight Runner stealth and go Adorable Infestation on the Teacher's Pet and trade it in. There is no Shadowward Ruin in the list, but I'd be very afraid of the possibility of like Cabal Acolyte into Wave of Apathy situation, not getting the card draw off the Twilight Runner. Because I feel like that's the most important part. Sure, you can try and protect your board, but if you're not drawing closer to your bigger threats, this deck doesn't have ways to capitalize on the board as much as Survival Druid, for instance. So I guess you do put a 1/1 in the way, so it's like be a 1 and 3 if he has Cabal Acolyte plus Wave of Apathy, but Briarthorn has a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, Briarthorn has tech cards ready for the Warrior. He played a Zeus. Oh, he just drew his Cobalt Sticky Finger, though. What does this mean, TJ? It means we're going to game 2.
Yes, it does. This matchup, like, because of how the decks are built, almost feels like a formality.
Right.
It's like these are the bows and the curtsies before the actual match takes place.
That's
this
right.
This is the
that's
pleasantries.
I wonder.
That's right. Briarthorn, he is not gonna. Oh, he's coining out Tempo Cobalt Sticky Finger. Rami is devastated. There's no coming back from that. Wow. Breath of Dreams. Could use Bog Beam here. No, not the Sticky Finger. Alright. Well, now we have to live in a post-Sticky Finger world. And I don't know what to do, DJ.
Yeah.
What do I do with my hands?
Yeah, they aren't sticky anymore.
Yeah.
Okay. My player cars on the Twilight Runner
Yeah.
into Shadow or Death. I mean,
Okay. Helps.
that is something, right? That is something.
Yeah, it's not a lot though, because right now Alex Straza can help press in here for Rami, can put 8/8. Your opponent just played Shadow or Death. This looks like a pretty easy game number 1 for Rami. But as you said, TJ, it is all just the beginning. Briarthorn is not interested in your silly games. He wants your warrior. Showered Ruin? Okay. Actually great in this position.
Okay. So you Shadowwood Ruin, and then trade over whichever beast comes out. Nice, on 3 against the Twilight Runner, which is stealth. Gets to draw cards. Next turn, Dan. We're piecing together a win condition.
We very much
He's got
are.
Apotheosis to slam on this Twilight Runner next turn as well. Briarthorn's back, baby.
That's
Cobalt
right.
Sticky Finger bought him just enough time.
It's true. Cobalt Sticky Finger was played, and now Briarthorn has somewhat stabilized. Briarthorn also will die next turn with that Malagos Moonfire and the Lightning Bloom Innervate Swipe. Because that was 15 damage.
The Apotheosis is... Apotheosis?
Ooh, you're right.
Time waits for no one.
Yeah, Rami can also invest his Overgrowth so he can play the Ysera Unleashed.
Yeah. Because he's not under pressure, like... Wait, what?
Okay, also can do this too. For the second Moonfire. Rami sees the lines.
Briarthorn's very dead. So next turn he's got Malagos, Lightning Bloom, Innervate, Germination, double Moonfire.
Yeah, that's some damage for sure.
It is 22 damage. Oh wait! If he can take everything off the board here.
Oh, Penance. Ah. Penance actually keeps him
Penance
alive.
and heals. He's alive.
I think Briarthorn's thinking about what he can make a read off of Rami's play, right? Like, why would you innervate Overgrowth,
What?
then draw a card? Briarthorn with the read.
No one makes that play. No one does.
He penance the 1/1. He makes the read, TJ.
He's dead
Okay.
anyway.
Okay.
He's dead anyway.
I mean,
Fun while it lasted.
oh, it was a good play relative to the information
Wait.
clues
No,
that he had.
he's 25? Wait, no, he's not dead.
Wait, what?
No, he's not quite dead, right?
Because he has to use the innervate to activate the Malagos, right?
Wait, no, he is dead. You swipe, Omu. Oh no, you can't do that.
So you Omu and you germinate,
And then you Malagos, Moonfire, swipe, Moonfire, Hero Power, but that's only you No, then you do this. It resets your mana crystals. Then you Malagos. Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Then Germinate. Then double Moonfire. It's exactly 22. Yeah. Well, it's 23 because he has a Hero Power.
actually.
So he found it. He found it. Yeah. It's interesting though because it's rare that you have to use the swipe first because you're trying to tunnel on like Malagos. But yeah, it's swipe first, then Omu. Then Malagos, then do the play that you did last turn and just net the 4 damage from the swipe. So it took him a little bit, but he did find it.
Nice job. It definitely looked like there was the lethal, I think, but yeah, the the Forsworn Omu and the Germination is usually what you look for to get that maximum amount of damage and combo, but really good job from Brahmi to not be tunneled in on that, and as a result, would have missed that lethal otherwise. And that's going to be game number 1, but as we mentioned, it's really be marching closer to that warrior to find an opportunity to target that with all of its Cobalt sticky fingers. That does lead us to our next intermission. We're going to take a few minutes and get set, and when we come back, we're going to have Rami versus Briarthorn game number 2 here at Hearthstone Grandmasters for the Americas. We'll be right back.
Hearthstone Grandmasters is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network. T-Mobile.
7本の指か7本の足か選ぶなら7本の足かな。ハーストーンができなくなるのがちょっと怖い。
应该是7只手指吧，因为这样就可以做比较多的事情。然后7个脚趾也不一定会走得比较快。
평소에 손이나 발 사용할 때도 손이 더 활용도가 더 많이 높은 것 같아서 네, 손을 선택했어요.
손가락을 많이 필요로 해본 적이 없어서 저는 오히려 그게 더 편하지 않을까 생각합니다.
아무래도 게임 좀 많이 하다 보니까 좀 더 유리할 거 아니에요? 게임하는데? 그래서 손가락 7개인 게 더 나을 것 같습니다.
どちらでもなくて腕を2本増やしたいです。
Welcome back, everyone, to Hearthstone Grandmasters for the Americas. Briarthorn and Rami currently playing right now. Rami up 1-0 after a very quick game number 1, where the Malagos Druid was able to kind of get started and just really wasn't contested at all by that control priest from Briarthorn. But we're going to game number 2 here in just a moment, and we're going to find out if we can find a win before we get to the warrior. Rami going to do what any sensible player in his position would do, which is to avoid playing warrior. Try to get the wins which you can against decks that are a lot weaker because they've teched in a bunch of cards that are meant for warrior, not for them. And we'll see if the Soul Demon Hunter can get the win here.
Yeah, and mentioned earlier, but the additional weapon tech that's for the Bomb Warrior still is good against Demon Hunter, because it will be able to block some damage. So I think this is still a decent matchup for Briarthorn. He's got a good amount of healing. He's got removal necessary. Like, having Wild Pyromancer, Apotheosis, having Cartoon Defender, and having double Ooze, double Sticky Finger means it's going to be tough for Rami to stick weapons. So if Briarthorn can bank a win with one of these decks before he even has to face Warrior, that's even better for his long-term game plan. So we'll see if that's going to be the case, but this is one of Rami's specialty decks with the Soul Demon Hunter. It is, I believe, the deck that he primarily used to hit and stay rank 1 legend. So I do also feel like it's just straight up one of the strongest decks in the metagame currently. But Briarthorn does have the tools as Draconic Studies, Wild Pyromancer, Acidic Swamp Ooze. A decent early game start. Not the best, but relatively good. I think Draconic Studies is probably the best here just to be proactive.
Yeah, try your best to do something, and you know what? Ooze on 2. It feels like that's the Briarthorn at this point. And the Apotheosis. TJ.
Nice.
Great.
Beautiful.
Okay. Fairy Dragon actually is kind of nice to have, but it doesn't get to really play it very cleanly on 2 just now. But Rami has the really good starting opening hand here. This is kind of stuff that I think Demon Hunter's really happy to entertain. And early on, Briarthorn's going to play this Fairy Dragon, play a little bit off curve, hoping that he can get more use out of his things like Ooze and his Wild Pyromancer, instead of just committing to it right now.
Ooh, double jump.
From Briarthorn's perspective here, Draconic Studies might help him pick up something useful. Onyx Maze Scribe, perhaps?
Yeah, I think that, especially with this hand, like he's got the defensive tools necessary. He just needs a little bit more resources in order to keep fighting. He's got a solid game plan here. Continue to draw cards and put minions down into the board early. Briarthorn likely to have a dead turn here unless he picks up something off the top.
Well, there's not really too many good things for him to use his Raised Dead on right now, since it's only just a Fairy Dragon, I believe, that's dead.
Yeah.
So maybe Briarthorn instead can just play cards like Acidic Swamp Ooze, bait his opponent into playing a weapon, and then Acidic Swamp Ooze on the following turn. Alternatively, he can just kind of let it pass.
You can hold on to it and just go for Onyx Mage Scribe, Raised Dead. Next turn, you get the immediate.
Right, but I guess like, yeah. But I guess like, doesn't that still serve a similar purpose to just playing a 2-drop that you would get back anyways, but you've taken 2 damage off the board?
Yes.
So do you think it would be better to play a 2-mana minion in that spot or no? Because I'm kind of thinking that maybe you could have played it previously. Well, either way, Briarthorn has the Wave Apathy and the Cabal Acolyte, so he's got a lot of combo cards right now.
This way around does give him multiple oozes, right? Because if he plays the ooze and then just for the purpose of Raised Dead and to contest the board, then he only has the 1 ooze in hand. Whereas if he waits for a weapon and then oozes, then he can Raised Dead another ooze and have answers for another weapon. Either way, I still don't feel particularly comfortable with this situation, though Briarthorn does have a very good stabilization hand with Wild Pyromancer, Apotheosis, and Raised Dead.
All right, Rami kind of debating for a long time if he wants to use his Penflinger to take down the Swamp Ooze. If he plays the Penflinger twice, would imply that he would be trying to kill the Acidic Swamp Ooze directly with his Battle Cry. I don't think he's just going to use the direct damage here. And Briarthorn's really not putting up that much of defenses at the moment. I do wonder how long he wants to hold on to the Apotheosis plus the Wild Pyromancer combo. That's always a great way to rebound. Can also use the Cabal Acolyte in this position, and then the Wave of Apathy. Honest Mage Scribe also might be a situation or a position for him to use, because you can curate now with the Raise Dead and get that that spell burst.
Dance, puppet.
Okay, so Briarthorn wants to play the Cabal Acolyte here.
Okay.
Interesting. Not valuing a tempo onto the board. He's starting to heal himself, indicating that he's afraid of the amount of damage that Rami's going to be able to generate here.
I mean, which makes sense. This deck can generate a lot of damage, but tempo is important. But honestly, the heal does seem more important in the grand scheme of things, because if you're not healing, you're just playing minions. You're giving the Demon Hunter excuses to play Blade Dance, excuses to play Shard Shadow Mystic. And then you end up taking more damage and fall even further behind. You kind of just have to space out your threats. Present something that can be a threat for Apotheosis, and then once that gets, and heal up, and then once that gets checked, keep repeating and trying to heal every turn. But like all of this damage is starting to really add up for Rami. Like, he hasn't even used any of his big damage sources yet, and he's already got Briarthorn down to 13 HP. So, and with not many minions on board, the possibility of Wild Pyromancer Apotheosis to actually stabilize him is, becoming less and less apparent. So,
Magic is not a toy.
all right, heal and play a big thing.
Yeah, I feel like this is just kind of Briarthorn stalling, and Rami's getting so many value off of these small minions. His 2/3 and his 2/2s and his 3/2s are like getting in for damage, and like this is a losing fight long term if you're allowing Demon Hunter to get damage in with their minions, I feel. So, Rami's gonna figure out a way to try to press in here. He has the slices, he's got the Gladebound Adept, he's got the Hero Power.
I'm
trying to think about how much damage he can push over 2 turns here. So he has 4 from the Gladebound, 4 from the Warblades. The second slice another 2. It's not enough just now, so he's going to go for the double jump instead and try to see if he can use the Skull of Gul'dan to maybe generate that tempo. I think also in the back of his mind he is a little bit afraid of the Honest Mage Scribe as well.
He's playing more minions. Oh, but he's also mana burning. Okay. But playing more minions means he's becoming weaker to the Wild Pyromancer Apotheosis. This is now a lot more healing than it would have been if he hadn't played minions. But Briarthorn only has 6 mana available. Oh!
Okay.
So this has to be the Wild Pyromancer Apotheosis turn. The question is, what's the third spell? And I think it's just Renew Your Face. Is hand space an issue? I don't think so, because the Wild Pyromancer Apotheosis still just replace itself with 2 spells, and you can renew your face. That will clear. You'd leave a 1/3 on the board, I suppose, but that's not the biggest deal in the world.
Yeah, I like it, and you heal for 10 this way, guaranteed. Plus, the Renew will also heal you as well. Oh my goodness!
Oh, circle!
There's another heal.
Circle is the nuts.
It's so big.
That's 5 additional healing.
Yes.
And now he gets to renew face. He's going to go up to full. He's going to be full life.
From 12 HP all the way up to 30. Finds penance. Alright. This all has gone very nicely according to plan. Rami has to start completely over. That Apotheosis plus the Renew on the Wild Pyromancer was devastating here.
Yeah.
Holy cow, that was crazy swing.
It's hard to, you know, picture that situation fully if you're Rami, but like, are those minions worth it?
Such a beautiful shoes.
Like, for the potential amount of healing that that those minions like give your opponent, do you need to play that Spirit Jailer?
Yeah, it is definitely something to think about for sure.
Because it was free, so he could have played it for free if he absolutely needed soul fragments.
Right.
And is the 1 damage, which essentially turned into 3 or 4 extra healing for Briarthorn in that instance. You know, that can sometimes be
I agree.
A little bit tough to tell.
I agree. I think that a lot of times because it's 0, you feel tempted to just play it, but it's a lot of times not super helpful to do things like that when you're accounting for AoE into your opponent's deck.
Yep.
So I think you bring up a good point. Like, should Rami have not actually played anything there?
Yep. He needed to dump something, but you know, he can just play a 1 minion onto the board and reduce the overall potential healing. Because Wild Pyromancer Apotheosis, while in Briarthorn's list, to be fair, he does only run 1 Wild Pyro. And there could have been a ton of cards that he was holding in the far left of his hand. Like, Priest has a lot of cards that they're just going to hold on to for a while. Murazon, Soul Mirror, that type of thing, of apathy. But looks like this is going to be... He looks like a Cartoon Defender, but I kind of like going for more of a tempo play here. Going for a Wave of Apathy, using the incremental healing here. And then next turn having a almost guaranteed board to fight with, and then follow up with Cartoon when you absolutely need it. So,
all right. Well, Rami draws a Soul Shear here, but he has the Shard Shatter Mystic to help clear things off. Thinking about how he wants to deal with this 5/5, if at all. He can just use the Pentlinger and Hero Power it down. I think I like that the most. The only thing I don't like is a little bit mana inefficient.
doesn't have to be.
Oh, he uses second slice. Okay. All right.
Job's done.
I think that's okay. I don't think the Warblades has a lot of value right now. The life steal, he's at 30, and he doesn't have Blade Dance, so it's not super important for him to have cheap ways to generate a lot of attack.
Ooh.
The Cabal Acolyte with the Wave of Apathy and the Penance. You have to do it in a specific order, though, if you want to take the Soul Shard Lapidary.
I don't think it's necessary yet, because he has an answer to this board already. Like, Cabal Acolyte plus Wave of Apathy is what he's going to want when he runs out of answers. Also, getting with he is starting to run out of value now, again. So having Cartoon Defender in the pool for like Master Resurrection to be the option if he stumbles upon a dead turn from Rami could be a big deal, right? Because you actually get double the Cartoon Defender in the pool when the first iteration dies, and then the reborn iteration dies, which increases the likelihood that you get it back, which would be pretty massive. So I do like this play. Rami now, I mean, he's still got some pretty good stuff left in his deck. He's got a Gladebound Adept, he's got Magnerodon, both Marl Slicers, as well as Sociologist Militia. So he still has like damage in the deck, utility in the deck to be able to win this game. It's just he kind of needs to, follow it up threat for threat for threat each turn, or else Briarthorn will just have the time to keep stabilizing up, because right now it just seems like with this, without a Consume Magic, he's at 30 again.
Right.
Slightly lower
healing.
now that the Shard Shatter Mystic's going to go face, but...
Yeah, well, he has the damage, and Rami's going to just pass it over. No need to overextend. Briarthorn picks up Soul Mirror. Soul Mirror is a very nice way for him to answer this board.
Yeah.
And
if he plays Wave of Apathy fast enough, he can get the Penflinger back before it attacks it to it.
Oh.
Nope, he didn't.
Yeah. Or if he played it fast enough, the Social Lapidary would have gotten the value trade.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to really wish that he had another way to deal with this board here. I guess he does have the Cobalt Acolyte and the Wave of Apathy, but he doesn't guarantee steal. I guess either minion steal is pretty good. Oh. Wonder how good that Raised Dead is right now. Manafina Panthera. Penflinger!
Oh, that's a what?
TJ! He found a way! Briarthorn found a way to get the Penflinger back. Oh my gosh. Shadow or Death. Way to deal with the Gladebound Adept.
Yeah.
He's gonna whittle down this, Oh. Oh, okay.
Your mind is not your own.
Oh, so that's why if he steals the cane, he can trade it to it. What a play!
Yeah, but it's
Dance, puppet.
it's a 1/4, so it doesn't actually really get to kill it off.
Yeah, but now next turn he has Penflinger spell Penflinger. Oh, okay, he doesn't attack. Like you trade the cane over the Gladebound Adept, and the next turn you go Penflinger spell Penflinger, and you kill off the rest of it. That is a sad looking Sociologist. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's well, still actually clears off a good portion of the board. I think it clears off almost everything if you use the weapon here, or his Twin Slice. So, yeah, not great, but maybe Rami can find a way to stabilize here. Briarthorn's kind of running out of resources too, but that Mass Resurrection, certainly interesting. You know, it'd be great. Mass Resurrection brings back the other Penflinger. Then Briarthorn has 2 Penflingers.
Oh man, this Penflinger. So he can go.
Oh my gosh. Cobalt Spellkin.
Oh!
Penflinger
Board clear with Holy
Synergy.
Smites! And Penflinger! Penflinger,
TJ.
Holy Smite. He may need a Shadow or Death.
No.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
He doesn't need to do it. No.
But is there anything else in the deck to even Shadow or Death?
That is
Magtheridon.
true.
Okay. You hold on to it for Magtheridon. If you can clear the board
Right.
without Shadow or Death, you probably do that, because there's Magtheridon Blade Dance still left.
So he's gonna. Yeah, it looks like he wants to save that Shadow Word Death then, unless he could just use Penflinger here and then use Shadow Word Death.
No,
I like using
Penflinger
the. Yeah.
Oh no! I don't think it's worth the death there. I think you Penflinger the 3/2, Holy Smite, the Sociologist, Penflinger the 3/1, and then trade in the Sociologist. Because looking at the cards in the deck, like Magtheridon's, there's also a Gladebound Adept.
Yeah.
Gladebound Adept, I guess,
I
is checked
agree.
by Holy Smite Penflinger, but I mean, you got to be slightly worried though for Magtheridon, I guess. Maybe he just doesn't care. Maybe he's like, all right, Magtheridon me, I don't care.
Well, he just knew that the next card would be the Mana Feeder Panthera, which is great for the Holy Smite and the Penflinger.
There you go.
Yeah. What's really important is that we have this ooze for the second charge of the weapon, though. This priest is really not going anywhere, though. Mass Resurrection finally has an opportunity to get played here. Briarthorn finds. Oh, I was really hoping for the Penflinger. Although Holy Smite here is pretty
great
good.
outcome. Like,
yeah,
that is the
that's
best
probably...
outcome. That's way better than Penflinger. Look at that. It's like almost the 3 best minions.
What? Gets another Mass Resurrection? How does he do it?
Alas, poor war.
EJ, I don't understand.
Not many cards.
Mara Slicer, Magtheridon, and the other Slicer. Rami's almost out of cards, by the way.
Yep. He has a very, very small chance to clear this board here. If he goes Magtheridon, Mara Slicer, and Blade Dance, and it hits all 3 of the Blade Dance hits the warders.
Demons.
I mean, there's really not much for Rami to be able to do. He has 3 weapons and only ability to play 1 and swing it. I guess he could play multiple of them if he wants to stack his soul fragment charges. Rami really thinking about ways that he can use this blade dance perhaps to win.
Gotta go for it.
All right.
Imagine, Dan. Imagine hitting all 3 warders here. Nope.
Hits one of them. Wait. How? I was thinking about Murzon just being picked up and like how does that interact right now with the situation of this board state, which is kind of fun to think about, but I don't know if that's what's needed here. I think Briarthorn probably feels like he just wants to use his weapon to stop that damage.
Yeah. So, last card is Gleatbound Adept. So, Rami has a way to clear these last 2 warders. It would kill off his Gleatbound Adept, and he'd be all in on this 1/12/12 Magtheridon. This is the reason why I wanted to use the Holy Smite earlier.
Yeah.
Instead of the Shadow or Death, because the only threats that are left in the deck that really threaten you is Magtheridon. So, I mean, he's got Lazul Scheme, and Rami's taken Fatigue.
True, but he also has Soul Fragments. And he has this lifesteal off the Draki War Blades! Briarthorn! Briarthorn!
You think this is your time?
Murzon right back, summon the Gleatbound Adept and the Adragi Warblade. And that is GG. Briarthorn wins the game number 2 as
he is elated.
He is over the moon. I also like that his hair is becoming even more wild, like an untamed lion.
Yeah. It's purposeful.
Yeah.
It's just his look. Yes. It's funny. But I said, you know, the priest, even though the strategy is to beat Bomb Warrior, that priest, because of those tools that it has, decent against Soul Demon Hunter, and he does find a win. So now that's like one less deck that he has to worry about, you know, beating the Bomb Warrior with. It gives Rami one less chance to win with Bomb Warrior. So pretty big deal, honestly, in the grand scheme of things in this matchup. And now Briarthorn has the Paladin, the Druid remaining, and Rami still has Demon Hunter, and of course the Bomb Warrior, Bomb Hunter. Demon Hunter is kind of like Bomb Hunter almost. Bomb Warrior
might as well be. It's kind of similar, which is hero aggression, which is a little bit fun. It's a play style that we actually see right now. I am curious to see how the Paladin's going to do. Paladin does tend to farm that Demon Hunter. Briarthorn's going to turn to his Druid first, though, with Survival of the Fittest. And yes, in case you have missed it, still playing 2 Cobalt Sticky Fingers in his Survival Druid.
It's funny, Raven and Saddle had the conversation in Europe about how effective Warma's anti-Bomb Warrior strategy was. He kind of went left field and brought like a super anti-Bomb Warrior Turtle Mage, a Lucent Bark Quest Druid, and then I forgot the other one that was not being banned most of the time, but all of his decks were like tailor-made. It seemed to beat Bomb Warrior, whereas Briarthorn just jammed Kobold Sticky Finger into like already popular archetypes. A much different strategy. It was Priest. It was a Priest deck with double Kobold Sticky Finger, double Ooze, double Kartut, that kind of thing. And then his final deck was this Control Warrior that honestly kind of seemed a lot like Briarthorn's. Just more clean, I guess. like a cleaner curve, so to speak, not as much random stuff. And they came to the conclusion that it wasn't super effective at the end of the day. And if Briarthorn just corners Bomb Warrior in with this strategy of just jamming Cartoots into already popular archetypes, it's going to revolutionize the way we think about Bomb Warrior.
Well, we'll see.
You don't pick the ones.
I mean, Rami has a nice curve again. Beard Jailer, Wand Maker, double Mana Fia Panthera. Wild Growth here again, and another Nature Studies. There's an opportunity. Looks like he's going to prioritize removing the 2/2. That does make sense here, as he wants to like, prepare for his Twilight Runner on turn 4.
Yep.
And Rami's just pretty much going to keep chugging along here. Based off the kind of the way the hands look, just from the Marrow Slicer versus the Briarthorn, versus the Twilight Runner, it does seem like Briarthorn's going to get this Twilight Runner to stick. Speaking of TJ.
Oh, yeah. Oh, secure the deck.
What was that moan?
It was the Kobold Sticky Figure moan. You've never had one of those? It's involuntary.
Oh, yeah. The natural reflexive response to a drawn Kobold Sticky Finger on curve.
It's the Hearthstone equivalent of the hammer to the knee reflex test.
That's right.
You just show a Hearthstone player a picture of Kobold Sticky Finger playing against a weapon class, and the moan is an automatic reflex.
That's what we should have the VO be. Oh, does not want to play.
What?
Secure the deck.
Why? Does he not want to pull out the minion until it's large and in charge? With the survival of the fittest?
Maybe he wants to.
Oh, no. Sorry,
discount?
secure the deck. Secure the deck. My fault. I thought it was the other one. This is the claws.
Strength in numbers? This is
Strength
the one
in
where he has to
numbers,
attack with his heroes. I thought you meant more that why didn't he spend the mana on it? It's because he could probably get the mana discount as well?
Yeah. He wants to see what his next draw is, if it's a spell that he wants to actually get a discount on, more so than just secure the deck. Though with 7 mana, he's, what would he want to play? Guardian Animals Overflow, but whatever. I don't think there's a huge reason to play it. Rami probably wants to Blade Dance this.
Right. He has the Twin Slices. Okay. He is willing to accept the wrath of Briarthorn. Says, you know what? I'm not afraid. Draw your cards. Draw your sticky fingers. In which case, Briarthorn says, don't mind if I do.
Oh!
Yeah. I don't know. Letting your opponent draw the Twilight Runner seems like you're asking for trouble. And trouble has arrived. Lake Thresher, Teacher's Pet.
He does get to Blade Dance this. But obviously we could say, like, if he had just Blade Danced the Twilight Runner, he would have never had Guardian Animals. But Rami was worried about Guardian Animals already being in the hand. If he Blade Dances the Twilight Runner, then Guardian Animals comes out, and then he doesn't have a Blade Dance, and he falls too far behind. So, result-oriented thinking would say, yeah, why don't you just Blade Dance there? Then he could gain tempo here. But I do like the way that Rami played this, because he did give himself the outs against this. And unless a taunt comes out here, he gets to push 5. He does.
Okay. Nice. It does, but it's kind of like a cascading effect, though, right, for Briarthorn, because he's drawing 2 cards deeper into his deck. So he does, that 2-card draw kind of offsets a little bit of the downside of the tech cards that he has in his lineup, right? Like the 2 Cobalt Sticky Fingers, so that he doesn't have to worry about those being dead draws. So totally understand where Rami's coming from, as he's purposely trying to plan around this Guardian Animal turns. It's the most important thing when you're going up against Druid, to be able to identify those power turns. Can we get the Skull into the outcast position in a reasonable manner here? He does have the Marrow Slicer and the Chaos Strike. So I guess Chaos Strike first to see if he has the ability to equip the weapon here. Consume magic. All right, we take those. Might be really helpful later on against teachers' pets or anything else that comes.
Oh, he went face.
Yeah, he's not afraid. He's actually got a lot of damage potentially lined up as well. Like, let's say the Skull Gul'dan on average draws like 1 damage card. He's got 2 of them. He's going to be able to push out a ton of damage wave after wave. Oh, Briarthorn. He is ready to go. It is eat or be eaten. And Rami has the other Blade Dance, which actually gives him the ability to slightly ignore this minion and go face and try to pressure for the win.
The problem being, there's about to be an 8/8 Kobold Sticky Finger hitting the board.
Oh yeah.
And Broom's hitting the board, and he used his weapon. Though Briarthorn is at 8.
Oh.
The second one.
He's got 2 fingers.
So you go Kobold Sticky Finger, you Broom, and set up for lethal. Because that does set up for a 2-turn lethal.
Using the top deck Sticking Finger is just optimal here.
Yeah.
It's a lot of power.
I want to take the damage on my Kobold Sticky Finger. And then I want to push 10. 11.
Yeah, when your opponent...
Oh, and the claws! I forgot about the claws!
Oh, he's
gonna
use
hedge
a
his
claw
bets
here.
and use 1 to gain the armor. Gonna use hedge his bets, gain 2, use it to gain more life.
Okay.
Soul Fragment. Still a bunch in the deck. Still 4. Double Shard Shatter Mystic.
Okay, that helps. Helps a lot,
does-
actually. Alternatively, Rami could use his Skull of Gul'dan this turn, but looks like he's intent on utilizing his Shard Shatter Mystic this turn. He has the opportunity to use Shard Shatter Mystic, Hero Power, Blade Dance, and Shard Shatter Mystic. That clears everything.
You can just consume magic and double Shard Shatter.
Yeah, that also works too. Clear off your own 3 too. I think the Blade Dance is really important to hold on to.
Really pushing much damage, and this will get dealt with, and Briarthorn's gonna have a pretty big board again because he can go Ysera Unleashed Broomstick, have a 5/5 and a 8/16. Oh, Twilight Runner!
Twilight Runner is even better, so you can get that card draw. Maybe find ways to heal.
Crystal Power, perhaps? Iron Bark, perhaps?
Speaker Gidra.
A massive Speaker Gidra, perhaps? So you Speaker Gidra, then Claw, then Iron Bark.
Nature speaks through us.
There we go. This is the final push here from Briarthorn, unless Rami has something to do to stop this. Or lethal. Okay, Soul Fragments.
He can Cane to push through, but like he needs to Skull. He has 1 Twin Slice, Pen Flinger, Aldraki Warblades, Marl Slicer.
Alas, poor war.
He has Magtheridon, but with both Shard Shatters used,
Yeah.
he is all sorts of dead.
Marrow
He's not
Slicer,
dead,
Soul
actually.
Shear does 7, and then Hero Power plus the Blade Dance. Clears everything.
Yeah, actually, he
today.
can clear this.
Yeah, it's actually a perfect clear.
Yeah.
Am I unless I'm misunderstanding here, but like,
Nope, that's a perfect clear.
Okay, because the Mirror Slicer gives you 4 attack, and you hero power, Blade Dance. Actually, you can squeeze in the Penflinger too, TJ.
Yeah. Throws short.
Which is nice. And the Soul Share will clean it up. So Rami's staying alive. And he also has he actually has a lot of damage from the hand. TJ, this game isn't over. But you know what is over? This Marrow Slicer being in Rami's side of the field. Cobalt Sticky Finger number 2. All of those sticky fingers. Okay, is that enough to stabilize here? It is not.
No, there's 5, so he can't clear off both, and he needs to clear off both in order to survive. Because he has to throw 3 into 4 into the Leg Thresher.
Okay.
And he would need 3
Can
more.
Skull Gul'dan
so
change anything here?
He's got 5 Soul Fragments in the deck. He's got Magtheridon, Gleipon Adept, Aldraki Warblades.
He's gotta try. Okay, that heal might be helpful. Wow.
Alas, poor Warlock.
Wow. Okay, he's got a lot of healing.
And he's still dead.
Just not enough, though.
Throws short.
Briarthorn is using the Sticky Fingers to sweep this Demon Hunter so far. Rami's not able to get a win with it. We're so focused on the Warrior, we forgot that Demon Hunter is another variation of a class that loves using weapons. Briarthorn.
That was a smirk.
Feeling slightly satisfied with his performance thus far, but his job's not done yet. He still has to get one more win with the Libram Paladin, and Demon Hunter is still up, TJ.
Yeah. Which is just it's double brutal for Rami in that instance. Just because the Libram Paladin, I feel like, is quite good. You can clear a lot of stuff. You have a ton of healing possibilities. But we'll see. Cobalt Sticky Fingers kind of puts it over the edge a little bit. And against the Bomb Warrior, so the Libram Paladin, especially this version, like if there was one deck that I felt like was the weakest against Bomb Warrior in his lineup, I would probably put it on this Libram Paladin. Just because it does take a long time to get going, but the Libram of Hopes, in combination with Cobalt Sticky Fingers, should buy a good amount of time. Especially considering the fact that the deck does get on the board quite quickly, so you're usually not going to be taking too much damage from minions early on in the game, and you do pressure. One of the biggest techs I feel is like Lightforge Blessing, because similarly to how we saw it work in the previous series with Wild Apartments and Apotheosis, Lightforge Blessing does something very similar. And when you draw it, you have both copies of it, so that can often be the tide turner. I wonder if Briarthorn just keeps a Sticky Finger. I mean, he's done more testing in this than I have with the double Cobalt Sticky Fingers, I would hope. Maybe not. But he does keep it. He keeps a Wild Pyromancer.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I don't know. I usually try to find the early game buffs as well sometimes because it seems to be pretty good. Briarthorn is smiling. That crease is concave up, TJ.
Yeah, he's
feeling good.
Just patting himself on the back. He's like, "Great job, buddy. Those Cobalt Sticky Fingers were the tech this week."
That's right. We stuck them good.
Yeah. So, the first day of school, there's some merit to holding on to it with Wild Pyromancer in hand, with the possibility of drawing High Abyss Allura. But I do feel like he needs some minions to start fighting on the board here. Oh!
Okay, Risky Skipper. And Argent Squire.
I must move quickly.
Interesting.
I'm not sure how to use Risky Skipper in this deck. Okay, choose the Wild Pyromancer. It seems like Briarthorn really prioritizes having a turn 2 play. It's classic Hearthstone. Back when we were kind of first discovering what it meant to play a very tempo-oriented play style, people were pretty averse to playing things where that didn't have a lot of value. I think because, value was like one of the early fundamental concepts that people were trying to maximize. And realizing that you can just kind of tempo things out on 2 was a really big deal for a lot of mid-range decks, especially back then before we started seeing some pretty crazy, elaborate designs that we see now. And it seems like Briarthorn kind of subscribes to that old school feel of like, play your biggest minion here, as long as it's not Sticky Finger. Unless it's a matchup where you can't get Sticky Finger value. In that case, on turn 5, play Sticky Finger.
Protects me.
Reporting for duty.
All right, well, it ends up going with the Argent Squire and the hero power here, and Rami has the Mana Feeder Panthera number 2 to just rack up this board presence here. Still nothing really too substantial on either side. Briarthorn's kind of taking a very slow approach to the Libram Paladin, and kind of wondering if he's going to coin out the Truth Seeker and try to get this Libram train going. And the best part about this is that you can immediately Libram Wisdom trade, use it again, and buff the Truth Seeker. Has an opportunity to go for a third Libram play this turn if he wants to buff the Silverhand Recruit. But sometimes you don't want to have too many Librams before you play Liadrin.
Yeah, because you do want to make room for Libram of Hopes, right? Because you may need multiple ones. You may need, if you don't find both naturally. So I do like this, actually. All right, now gets to... Oh, both of them. Does have a good play this turn with the Broom and Solid's Pride in combination with Libra of Wisdoms. Yeah, I was going to say, I think you want to Broom this. I think you want to take 5.
I like it. You get the card draw going. Get the Pen Flinger, TJ, and then you can use the Libram and bounce it back. He's flinging, he's fingering. There's all kinds of cool stuff Briarthorn's doing with all those decks here.
Robbie's not drawing weapons, though. And as we talked about, the Cobalt Sticky Finger is much better against Bomb Warrior because they just don't win unless they play weapons. Whereas Soul Demon Hunter can definitely win if they don't draw weapons.
Yeah.
And
that's what he's doing right now.
Just efficient damage. Yeah, he hasn't drawn a weapon yet. So he's just hitting them. Cobalt Sticky Fingers, just sitting in hand, not doing anything.
No, they're biding their time, TJ. They're plotting something.
Ooh.
Be careful when you put 2 Cobalt Sticky Fingers in a room together. Dangerous things may happen.
Let
me
just keep taking each other's weapons.
I'm liking the Libram of Justice here, just to be efficient with removal, but you totally could convince me of using... Okay, I was going to say you can convince me of using a Sticky Finger and a Broomstick here. Seems like Briarthorn instead will use his second Broomstick.
This makes sense, too. There's not too many minions that you'd want to trade into. And if you can kill these without using Libram of Justice, I think you do that.
Fair enough.
Now can fit in one more Pen Flinger.
Huh? Right.
Be efficient with face damage, and then end the turn with a nice Libram of Wisdom onto the Broom. Nice. Problem still stands, though. He hasn't found healing yet. Needs that Libram of Hope, or a stick a minion in Lightforge Blessing. And there's actually not much just healing, raw healing in the deck outside of those 2 things. But if he does find them, and all of a sudden Lady Liadrin becomes even more potent if you can get a second Libram of Hope back. So he is like that one key draw away from potentially running away with the game. But Rami is not short on damage. He's got Chaos Strike, Kane Sun Fury, Gladebound Adept.
Right. And it's like getting to that point where you can steal things like the second charge of the Marrow Slicer, but you're still going to take damage in the next turn. Rami also has kind of seen some of the play pattern from Briarthorn, and he's willing to wait till the very end of the game before stealing the weapon. He will not play his things like Ooze and Sticky Fingers until you play a weapon. Rami's going for it.
I mean, it's just a lot of damage push this turn. It's 7. You put him down to 11. You can set up lethal over 2 turns, even through taunts with Kane Sun Fury. So, oh, the Libram of Hope drawn.
Woo! But first,
there's an important task at hand.
Yeah, there's there are weapons to be stickied.
No.
He's gonna use. Oh, if you use your Libram of Hope, okay.
How likely is 11 damage from hand?
Well, he would heal himself, so he actually goes up to 19.
No, if he plays Sticky Finger, I mean.
Oh. I guess I just feel like we held on to Sticky Finger for such a long time, and now we might miss that connection here. Sharkshatter Mystic plus Kane Sun Fury is interesting. Just to push damage here. Maybe he is going to just hit it and use Soul Shear instead, or I guess in this case, Gladebound Adept. Yeah, all these work. That's where the Libram of Justice comes in, DJ.
Yep.
The Pen Flinger Libram of Justice.
If he wants to take 3 damage, he can fit in the High Abyss Allura. Right? Because he wouldn't be able to use second Pen Flinger.
Right.
He could Libram Justice, Pen Flinger the Gladebound Adept, then High Abyss Allura and Libram of Justice and pull a spell from his deck, which he has Hand of a Doll, Lightforge Blessing, another Libram of Wisdom, First Day of School, Libram of Hope, another Libram of Justice. There's a wide variety of spells that he could play. And he does have a little bit of health wiggle room. And maybe he can see which spell he pulls with Libram of Justice first thing to see if that changes anything that he wants to do. Does it? Libram of Hope!
Oh! God Gamer.
Nailed it!
And Briarthorn, elated. He is ecstatic. Rami can't believe it. Look at Briarthorn sitting back.
He didn't even get to play the Bomb Warrior.
Oh yeah.
Briarthorn
he didn't even have to play
sits
Sticky
back
Finger.
and says, I have 2 Kobold Sticky Fingers in my hand. I dare you to try to kill me.
Yeah. He didn't even do it with Lightforge Blessing, which is also another really powerful card in this matchup. Rami's chuckling to himself, thinking, how on earth did Briarthorn get this good this quickly?
He found his strategy. He found the strategy that speaks to him.
Briarthorn's going to go 2-0 this week, it looks like, and
yeah,
stay alive and very much even be in contention for playoffs. He only has one more match after this. As Rami looks like he might be down and out this game. Can't really stop this Libram of Hope. This Guardian shaking the head. Concede. Briarthorn sweeps the Demon Hunter. And the risky lineup bring ends up paying off in spades as Briarthorn has demonstrated his deck building prowess. Getting a lot of powerful victories, but also showing some pretty solid play, right? Like it seems like things like his Paladin, he's really comfortable with it, understanding like when he's supposed to extend to the board. And we couldn't really say that about the early weeks of Briarthorn. It seemed like he was struggling a little bit with certain decks that weren't like Zoo Warlock, but it seems like he's really tightened up certain corners, and that plus some of the fun deck building lineup choices that he's chosen to bring has resulted in a 2-0 week. Well done.
Yeah, that was the cleanest we've seen Briarthorn play during the whole weekend.